What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to the new Battlefield game, I was actually going to be sitting here discussing with you guys new leaks and information that we have gotten. But after loading up some brand new footage of this Battlefield game, I've scrolled through the comment section, and I gotta be honest with you guys, a lot of these comments are kind of just, blowing me away. Now, again, there's a difference between sharing opinions and giving constructive criticism like we do here on the channel, There's been plenty of negatives that I've talked about with the new Battlefield game. Now, am I saying the game is bad? No. But I'm still throwing stuff up for discussion so we can share opinions and, kind of formulate ideas and maybe even give constructive criticism. But there are tons of individuals out here while I'm scrolling through this that are just, honestly, just simply bashing the game. I mean, they're doing nothing more, nothing less. They see things that are in alpha phase and they're not pleased with it. And again, I agree, clearly, from the footage that we're seeing, it's not the best out there. But man, oh man, some people are going a slight bit too hard. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 1 Eastern time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, if you guys are interested, gotta link that channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I do want to discuss the leaks that I saw, and I'm going to be pretty quick with it because it's not like it's a crazy amount. First and foremost, we are indeed getting a sledgehammer. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was just going to be some type of melee weapon, you know what I'm saying? But now we have actual gameplay of the sledgehammer in use. And yes, you're going to be able to break down walls on buildings, whatever you need to break through. You'll be able to do so with the sledgehammer tool. I really love this. I think this is going to be tons of fun. The, potential for flank routes, building cover, just, so on and so forth is going to be huge within this game, and I can't wait to finally give that a try. And secondly, I actually saw a little something about the voice chat positioning mode or whatever it's called. Basically, there's going to be 4 separate modes: auto, flat, directional, and in-world. Auto, the game mode decides how voice chat is played back. Flat, play directly out main speakers with no direction. Directional, the voice will be positioned in relation to where the soldier is. Sounds pretty cool. And in-world, the player talking to you will have reverb/distancing applied to their voice as if their soldier is speaking. These features are really dope in my personal opinion. And it's really making me think, is this going to be for actual in-game voice chat? Basically being able to talk to everybody who is currently playing the game and not just simply your squad. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, apparently there is going to be a BR in this next Battlefield game. And again, this isn't what this video is about, so let's not go too deep into it. But at the end of the day, in a lot of these BRs, there's proximity chat that allows you to pretty much talk to everybody within that match you're in. Now, I can see where this could be a little bit annoying for multiplayer because, again, it's just a massive big battle of a bunch of people charging at one another. So, having that many voices might be, I don't know. Who knows how that will turn out? But I still think it will be an awesome feature to allow the community to decide if they want it or if they don't want it. Because, again, for people who might not want that, and it could be, like I said, an annoying feature, we have no clue how it would pan out until it's actually tested. But if it is annoying, you could simply flick it off. But again, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I want to hear your opinions on how you think this is going to pan out here. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, let me get into why I'm a slight bit disappointed with how the community is acting towards these leaks. Because again, every single time I see new stuff, it's almost like the sentiment of this game has shifted completely. The first leaks, everybody was above and beyond, happy, excited, really saying this looks outstanding. And now as the leaks trickle on, and now we are weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks past the initial leak dates, people are starting to shift and opinions are changing wildly. But ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and show you guys this take over on this Reddit post. And I'll leave the link to this Reddit post as well down in the description of this video. It's actually some leaks, so if you want to see the gameplay that we're talking about here. Again, keep in mind, the quality is very bad. Again, I don't know why too many people judge it so heavily because we all know the quality is going to be rough. They don't want to get caught. And again, it's pre-alpha, People are judging it so harshly right now. But I'll leave it down in the description so you guys can kind of see the comments with your own eyes. But this was from Round Rectangle, saying pretty much what I just, discussed there. The drastic change in opinion on the leaks is wild to me. After the initial ones, everyone was excited, saying it looked great. Now I see so many comments saying it looks bad. What happened? And the response by Relax Karma said, people were starved for a new Battlefield game. which now looks to be more of what people hated about 2042? I'm sorry, I've played a lot of 2042. I have. I've played a decent amount. I've been through the trenches with this game, and although I tapped out way sooner than many because it was just too much to handle, I still have a ridiculous amount of hours. I've watched this game go from beginning to end. I watched the class system come into existence. I watched them revamp all the maps. I think it was right after they went ahead and did Hourglass and they finished the stadium and stuff like that is when I slowly started to trickle away. But, I've watched them do everything to this game. No, I mean, everything about the footage, it's nothing like 2042. Well, at least from my experience. And again, this is just from looking at gameplay. And I swear, I promise you, it's more than likely the slide and the jump that is making people think this about 2042. But just because it's a slide animation does not mean it's going to be abusable. But again, continuing on with this discussion here, Round Rectangle says, does it? I didn't play 2042 outside of the beta, but this doesn't look much like it from what I remember. And again, I agree, I play a lot of 2042 and, you just look at the gameplay in front of you guys. Look at this gameplay. And then again, go down the description, check out the leaks, and then come back and tell me if Battlefield 2042 genuinely looks like this brand new Battlefield game. Because I don't know, maybe I just don't see it, but I want to know what you guys think. But again, Relax Karma responded saying, it does to me. The animations, movement, and gunplay look very similar in comparison to the fluidity of Battlefield 1/Battlefield 5. I played about 280 hours of 2042 and enjoy it for what it is, but I'd like to see the gameplay reach a nice middle ground of the older and newer games. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I have to make this very clear. This right here is an alpha. Although I do understand the concerns from Relax Karma here, I don't think that this is going to be, representing the final product. And even, even if it's close to getting to the final product, I still don't think it looks at all like 2042. Ever since I saw the first leaks, Battlefield 3 instantly hit me right away when I saw it. And of course, like I said, you could slide and jump, but when the characters weren't sliding and jumping, nobody was complaining, right? Everybody saw just basic sprinting, and it looked really smooth, and it looked very clean. And that's what I think of when I think of OG Battlefield. Like Battlefield 4, for example. There was insane movement tech in that game. You saw people doing things. And again, what this character is doing in these leaks is nowhere in comparison to how people played Battlefield 4. Not even in the slightest. So if this is the only type of movement tech we're going to see and it's not going to be Battlefield 4 standards, I think we're in a good spot. Because that is indeed the middle ground. People who do want to take advantage of this movement tech can go ahead and do so, but it's not going to be so overwhelming that, the casual player is going to feel like they are entitled to having to do it as well. It's not going to be like Battlefield 2042 where you can slide and hit 3-4 freaking bunny hops afterwards and then continue that momentum and keep sprinting away. It doesn't look like that at all. These guys in these gameplay clips are simply sliding once and maybe jumping along with it, and that's it. And then once they finish that off, the pacing, slows down tremendously. Again, if you guys remember, the pacing of this game, statistically, these are real statistics. This game is pretty much on par at the same pacing of Battlefield 4, if not a slight bit slower. So it's not that fast-paced. I think people are jumping to conclusion and forgetting that what we're witnessing here is indeed an alpha. And the team over at DICE already clarified to us that there's a lot of placeholders, being put towards this alpha test here. Animations aren't polished or done. Those are placeholders from Battlefield 2042 and also probably previous Battlefield games, along with many other things, including the recoil. Because I've been seeing a lot of people also under these comments stating that the recoil looks like it's non-existent. And again, this is what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. I'm being serious here, too. People are judging it before actually playing it. And it's okay to critique a game if you haven't played it. Like I say, we do it all the time on this channel. But it's very difficult to critique fine details like recoil if you are not the individual going ahead and doing so. I mean, look at this, guys. I'm going to showcase to you guys some of my Battlefield 4 footage where I went ahead and just kind of showcase the recoil here. This is me managing recoil in Battlefield 4. If these were leaks of a pre-alpha and someone watched me do this, they would probably say the guns had no recoil, right? See, the thing with Battlefield is that Bloom was always the biggest key factor to allow the recoil. It was never, insane amounts of recoil in these previous Battlefield games. It was always bloom that you had to manage and try to control. That was the biggest key factor. The only time they added in real recoil patterns was with Battlefield 5. Other than that, I mean, you're just trying to master bloom and figure out how to, make it work in your favor with, again, not much recoil going on there. And that was the skill gap. So again, we see this with the new leaked footage, and yeah, it does look like it's a bit beamish right now, but as I said before, this is pre-alpha footage, where the majority of the things are not even in place yet. Animations, recoil patterns, potentially bloom. Like I said, they are going to fine-tune very specific features in each playtest. That's the whole goal here. It's not a playtest so you guys can go ahead and play the game and have fun. That's not the purpose. Every playtest is hyper-prioritizing a set of different things, whether maybe it's destruction, or maybe they're hyper-focusing recoil, or maybe they're hyper-focusing movement. Who knows what they're hyper-focusing in each playtest? But that's the goal here, right? And then as we move into beta, I'm assuming they'll start to polish off the rest of it. But to go ahead and finish this off, I saw another response by someone that goes by Matheist the Great, who said it perfectly in my personal opinion. I can tell you from experience that this new game doesn't play much like 2042, and these videos don't do it justice. I have 1,000 plus hours in 2042, and have some insight on these playtests. Recoil is punchier across the board. Movement is slowed down considerably, akin to Battlefield 4. Destruction is ramped up, and so far the maps flow much more predictably like Battlefield 3. Much of this early build is used from placeholders, not just from 2042, but older titles as well, in order to get core mechanics out for testing. Even with the placeholders, the tone of this game is totally different. More grit and less, what a time to be alive, if you remember that cursed 2042 ad. I understand the hesitancy, but I hope to reassure you all that this is a different game already in its infant stages. Now, this is a person who played the playtest, and see, this is what I'm saying. This person only got 22 upvotes. They played the playtest, they played the game, and they have 1,000 plus hours in 2042. And nobody really cares about what they have to say. But then again, the people who don't play the playtest, they're only going off of visuals, what the game looks like. They're getting hundreds of upvotes on a consistent basis. Guys, we need to calm down here, I believe. Again, there's a difference between discussing the game and, at the same time saying it's garbage because of this, and that. And also not understanding that what we're looking at here is, again, an alpha. I'm all for debate. I'm all for discussions, but we have to keep it level-headed here. And if the beta comes out and these things aren't resolved and, panic might start coming on through, we'll see when that time comes. But right now, in my opinion, I think that we have a very solid foundation compared to what we had with 2042. And there's not much reason to, really think it's anything like 2042. I don't really see where everybody's coming at, where they're, kind of losing faith. And now they're out of nowhere thinking the game looks more like 2042. The gameplay hasn't changed, ladies and gentlemen. This is the same footage we've been looking at since day one, since the leaks first started coming out. Nothing has changed. Nothing is different. So why is it now, we all are saying it looks like 2042 compared to day one, where it didn't? I don't know. Again, these are just my personal opinions. I wanted to share it with you guys. Of course, go down in the comments section, leave your personal opinions. Do you guys believe the new Battlefield game looks like 2042, or do you think it looks massively different, or even in between? Of course, you guys know I love reading all of your opinions down below. But as always, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 1 Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, go link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.